Winners play with winners, and losers hate winners, and winners hate losers. All right, brother. Well, let's go. I'm glad we're going to pump this out, man, because these cats was murdering me. All right, folks, we got a recap on my man Tony from Croatia. A lot of you cats was mean to me about it. But wait until you hear all the goodness that he's got going on 10 months later. Hey, folks, I want everybody to realize, man, it ain't a quick process. Getting somewhere ain't a quick process. You don't just turn it on and make millions of dollars overnight. Okay? Now, you can get lucky and find a 400-pound brick of gold in your backyard, but we not working with luck. We working with refined processes that put you in a place to become a champion. All right, I hope you enjoy this one as much as I do. Hit the like and subscribe button, share it with your friends. We coming up. We passed 30,000 subs. Thank you all. It's crazy, folks. We headed to the top of the mountain, baby, but we always on the climb up. Enjoy. Tony, real quick, a lot of people were upset with me with the advice I gave you last time, and, you know, a lot has changed. How long ago was it?
It was about 10 months ago. So we spoke in December of 22.
Okay, so it's been 10 months. Cats was upset with me because they felt like I was being too hard on you and da-da-da-da-da. And I try to explain to people, man, like there's the right way and then there's again, you know? And so talk to me. Let's just ask this question. How did the conversation help you?
Yeah, it really allowed me, most of all, to remove myself, as you said, from the small country, Eastern European mindset that I was in, thinking that I don't have the qualifications or the credibility or the authority to actually start my own thing and start my own business, start working with clients independently. And once I realized that, I actually joined a coaching program with a bunch of entrepreneurs from guys from the States, Canada, and I went to meet up with the guys to see, okay, if I'm really the shit that I think I am. And once I met up with those guys, and these guys are crushing it, I mean, young guys like 23, 24, making multi-six figures per year, and I realized, like, oh, I not only belong in this group, I'm probably better than some cats in this group. And that allowed me to just start, like, that pushed me to start my own thing.
Let me ask you this. What was that mentorship program? Is it like Tony Robbins or?
No, it's actually a coaching program for young entrepreneurs. It's called Ascension.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of young guys. The founders are like 24, 25, 26. They're doing about $5 million per year, the four of them combined, right? So young guys, super, like, crushing it, the best they can be at that age. Really big on Twitter, and I joined that group, and I met up with them in London. They had like a get-together mastermind, and I went over there, flew over there, paid $12 grand to join the program, right, which was a big thing, right? And I joined the program, and I'm like, okay, let me see what these cats are about, and if I can fit along, and do I belong in a group? And little do I know, I do belong in a group, and I started a business, got a bunch of clients from there. Partnered up with another person into that program, and we're now doing about 35 to 40 grand per month in revenue.
Okay, from Croatia, right?
Yeah, from Croatia.
So like when I was talking to you, you were trying to make $100,000 a year, right?
Yep.
And you had told me that, like, you know, that type of money in Croatia is huge money, correct?
It goes a long way, yeah.
Okay. So it's interesting because I have a mentee that paid $85,000 to join a program, okay?
Yep.
And it literally put her on the stratosphere. She's making $300,000-$400,000 a month right now. And she was already making $100,000 a month, right? But she put some systems in place and she did some stuff a little bit differently, and now she's just crushing it, right? Yeah. So awesome, brother. Well, look, man. Let's talk about the business aspect of it, right? Like we talked about a lot of stuff on the last video. And the one thing I want everybody to kind of listen to and hear, let it resonate. Everybody wants like everybody's asking me for a video, right? And I said, listen, man, I said, some of my guys have 4 years from a light fire video to them getting, like, I just got a phone call last week from 3 guys that graduated from OCS that I talked to 3 years ago. And then I hadn't talked to them again. And they said, listen, you gave me the path. I just followed the path. I just wanted to call and tell you I graduated from OCS in the Army, right? And so I think in this day and age, Tony, a lot of people think that the change or the success is going to come overnight, right? Like, and they thought I was being hard on you, but at the end of the day, like, I told you what I thought you needed to hear.
Yeah. And it was the right thing. It definitely was.
So I mean, I'm super fired up because, you know, it helped, right? Like, you kind of got out of your mindset, and now you're in a different mindset, and now sky's the limit, right? And that's what we're trying to do.
We're growing about 30% month over month. We're 8 people now. We're a team of 8. So my co-founder and me and 6 employees. So we got 4 developers, a project manager, an account manager. We're crushing it. We're working with pretty much just U.S.-based clients, Canadian, UK, right? So.
And what's the field, Tony? What exactly are you doing?
We're building out automations for small businesses, right? Small and medium enterprises. We're building out no-code tools, internal tools. So a lot of things around operations, automation, automating like different CRMs, different softwares people are using. And
okay.
Streamlining their business. So I was the director of operations at the company that I was with, and I brought a lot of that knowledge, and I partnered it up with my co-founder who's an engineer, right? So we combined our knowledge, and then now we call it a Shaq and Kobe. It's a Shaq and Kobe combo.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Are you using AI at all?
Yeah. We're big on AI, so we're enabling small businesses, right? We say that only bigger businesses have advantage to these complex tools, automations, and now we're trying to basically get AI and these complex automation over to small businesses, because that was usually out of their price range, and now they can afford it using like no-code tools and different softwares. We're now bringing that to the smaller guys.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my girl. I'll put you on the email with my girl. Yep. She's pretty much the #1 programmer in the world. And she automated my email. Like, she put a bot in my email, AI bot, that's replying to all of my PDF requests. But I know she's kind of working in that realm right now. That's not. She has a coaching business that she does based on her programming, like how much programming stuff she's won. But I'll put the two of you together because there may be some synergy there.
Perfect. That's good.
Yeah. And she's super connected, like, in America, like, super connected as far as, like the small stuff goes, is, like, programming. And, I mean, she's got, I don't know what her undergrad degree is, computer science? She got so she graduated from undergrad and got a master's degree at the same time, which, when she told me she was going to graduation, I was like, oh, great, what was your undergrad in? She said, I got a master's degree, too. I was like, oh, okay. Shit, she's smart. Like she rocket science smart. I guess I want to ask you, what resonated in the call? Okay, we talked about it a little bit, but like, if you could give your knowledge over the last 10 months to somebody listening, or that I'm gonna talk to and give them some fire, like enlighten me on what you think, like, the last 10 months has kind of taught you or driven you to, or the changes that have kind of been facilitated in that last 10 months?
For me, it was realizing that I just put a mindset, like, I was very conservative into what I think I can do, what I think I'm able to sell to people. I thought that I needed 10 more years of experience before I can do what I can do. And then what really gave me a kick into the butt, which is realizing, like, oh, I'm actually good enough. I actually know a lot of stuff that people actually need, which allows me to sell it, right? So for me, the biggest thing was just coming out of that mentality that I needed 10 years of experience, just because most people need 10 years of experience before you do something, and making me realize, like, oh, you have practical knowledge around a niche that someone is willing to pay for that knowledge. And I was able to sell that and market that and sell that to people and really start a business around that. So it was really just the biggest thing was you sort of gave me the permission in my head to like, yeah, you're good enough. And when I spoke to you, I was like, yeah, I'm making top 10% of income in Croatia, but I knew it deep down. It was like, I shouldn't just make top 10% of income in Croatia. I should make top 10%, top 1% of income globally, because I know, like, why would I limit myself geographically right to the country that I was born with? And that really pushed me to say, screw it, like, fuck the small country mindset, and I'm just going to go global and try my best, and it's been crushing it so far.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, man. I mean, shit, I'm fired up because everybody thinks like the formula is just military, right? Like they all think that it's just, but I try to explain to them, like, we got a bunch of doctors, we got a bunch of lawyers, we got business people, right? Like the formula is still the same formula for success. Like, I tell everybody, you got to bet on yourself, right? Then you got to line up some mentors. You went and joined the group of entrepreneurs. So like stuff that you're having problems with, you bounce off the group and they're like, hey, this is how we solved it, right? And you don't have to make all the mistakes, And so I was on a call and one of the kids was talking about he wanted to do it himself. I'm like, bro, that's not how you get there, right? Like, no one, like, you just don't get there by yourself. You don't get there, like, doing it by yourself. You don't get there learning all the hard knocks by yourself. Like, it takes too long. And a lot of times there's the failure points. You know the number, like 90% of all businesses fail in the first year. And they fail because the person doesn't know all the pitfalls to avoid to be, to do well.
Yep. For me, it was big just being around a group of guys that are a couple of years older than me, 2-3 years older than me. I'm 23. I just turned 23 2 days ago.
Yep.
So being in a group that are like 25, 26, making a couple of mil per year, that really opened my eyes. And having the combos with them and grabbing a drink and having dinner with them and realizing, oh, like these guys are just regular guys just like me. They just have some stuff figured out. And that stuff they have figured out isn't like rocket science. It's very manageable. You learn a skill that people want and you market that skill, and if you're good at it, people will refer you more business. People will connect you to their friends, their buddies, their business partners that do the same, and you'll just keep scaling. And for me, that's what happened. I invested $12 grand in the program. Within 2 weeks, I closed like $5 grand worth of deals of being in that program, just by being in the group and the people from the group needing my skill set.
Yep.
And that's what I realized is just not overthinking. You don't need to think of a $1 billion company, a $1 billion startup, something that no one ever did. You just figure out what is a skill that someone already sold, get good at it, and start marketing yourself.
Absolutely. So that is right, like being able to understand and being in that circle, right? Like you are the 5 people that you interact with the most, but when you get into that circle with a bunch of entrepreneurs, now it's like, oh, you can help me over here, I can help you over here, right? I just put you in contact with my girl. I just sent you an email, so you're going to have a conversation with her. It may or may not lead somewhere, but like it's just your circles, right? Like, and I tell everybody, I mean, Facebook was founded by a 20-year-old, right? Now, here's where I want to go with this conversation. What are you doing with all your money?
Yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is looking to start investing in rental properties. Number one, and then the second thing is I'm pulling a lot of my money into the S&P 500, basically balancing out my portfolio. 50% is going to be real estate, 50% is going to be stock and bonds.
Okay. Have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Long as you on that track, because I just had this conversation with one of my young kids that's up at West Point, right? I'm doing very well for myself, but if I had made 3 or 4 decisions differently, I would be doing $50 million well for myself, right? And it was really just a couple simple things, man. Don't sell my houses, right? I sold a house, the first house I had. And, I should have put leveraged a lot of money that I had 20 years ago into houses. and it would have been a game changer, right? Now I'm good right now, but you know, it's so simple. Like when you're 23, if you start buying property now, by the time you're 40, like everything will be done.
Yeah. And
You
that's my
know?
goal. My kid just turned 8 months old a couple of days ago as well. I'm planning by the time he turns 18, I want to be in a spot where I'm good. I'm good on passive income, on properties, on the stock market, and that's what I understand. Like I get the ability to start investing at 23, knowing at 43 I'm gonna have 20 years of compound interest already set up.
Yep. Have you been working on your tax management?
Yeah, I just partnered with a tax advisor and a CPA.
Okay.
We currently have a Croatian LLC. We're opening a Wyoming C Corp. Just working on making sure the taxes are all set properly.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's, you know, like and then like I got a business, and my number one thing is to try to like make sure I leverage, right, the business against what I'm doing in life so that I'm not paying no taxes on money, right? Like if I can move it all out and get it moved and use it, you know.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I got a lot of benefits by being married. I'm able to employ my wife. I'm able to write off my rent because I got a home office. I'm utilizing all of those write-offs to basically limit my tax exposure.
And you know you can pay your kid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't know about Croatia, but I know in America I can pay my kid $12,000 a year, tax free.
Same thing here. Yep.
Yeah. So, awesome, brother. You got any questions, man?
Yeah, I got questions. This is now mostly one question is personal, and then two questions are business related, right?
Go ahead.
So I'm going to start off with the business one and then get the personal one on the last one. So we just started hiring a lot because we've got a lot of demand coming up, and we have this approach of every person, every developer we hire, we like to think, as of now, that person has been the smartest kid in their class, their smartest kid in the classroom, and I want to keep that culture of hiring like the geniuses, the wizards, the absolute tech wizards, because that's going to allow me to basically have a great service and make sure I get long-term business. My question is, do you think that when I'm building a company culture and when I'm selecting these new employees that are going to get onboarded, do you think that level of standard that I've set right now, as is we're 8 people right now, is going to be scalable at 20 employees, 50 employees, 100 employees? Because that's where I'm trying to go. I'm really trying to make a big.
So I'm gonna tell you this, okay? You're always gonna have A players. You're always gonna have B players, and you try to eliminate the C and the D players and the F players, okay? However, I mean, right now I got 7 A players like running my stuff, right? 7. Okay. It's always a challenge to find great people. Okay. The difference is if you grow a great culture around great people, then it becomes easy. Okay? Because the great people attract great people, right? Have you read The Law of the Lid, John Maxwell's Law of the Lid?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so get John Maxwell and just read I think it's the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. So this is one of the things that I tell like people that are starting off hiring. The number one thing you have to do to hire 10s is you have to have a 10 doing the hiring. Okay? You cannot put, like I tell everybody, one of the biggest things that corporate America does wrong is they put HR people in charge of hiring. Initial interviews, stuff like that. And you got 10s, and most HR people are like 5s. Okay? And so you have to use your A players. And then the next thing you have to do, your A players have to develop people. Okay? So that's the other thing I tell people. You can't have, if you got a salesman, and salesmen are a little bit different, but if you got a really good salesman, he has to develop more salesmen, right? It's not good enough for him to be the best. He has to develop better salesmen. And so that's what like when you're an 8 people company, you know everybody, right? I'm at 140 people right now. I know about half of them. Okay, but I hired everybody for the most part, right? The other thing I'm going to tell you, and this is a big one, always hire good people. Do not hire bad people. Okay, when I say bad,
morals, ethics.
I'm not going to say morals and ethics. I'm going to say this. If your wife talked to them and she got uncomfortable, that's a bad person, right? You're a good person, right? You know what a bad person looks like. You don't hire them. Okay? We've hired one bad person. We hired a bad person, and he beat up one of the trainers at our job. Okay? Now, we have fired him already, but clearly we missed something in the interview process that a bad guy got through. Okay? And you're never going to be perfect. Okay? The other thing is, I'm going to tell you this. This is a great one. Gary Vee got a great one. If you hire somebody and you know in the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks they're not going to work out, get them out. Okay? We will fire people on the first or second day of work if they are doing foolish stuff and we know it's not going to work.
Yeah, you don't wait long if you know it's not good.
Nope. Yeah. Because the ramifications are too great on the impact of your culture, right? Yeah. So, I will tell you this. If you Google my dynamic leadership discovery article and watch it, it'll help you understand just how important body language is. And so, like you're doing most of the interview, I take it.
Yep.
So, like, it'll help you refine, like, kind of your interview, right? Like, it'll help you refine, like, how you interview, how you talk to people, how you kind of observe what's going on in the interview, right? You're going to start worrying a lot less about what they say, and you're going to start worrying more about how they're saying it and what their body language is saying, right? If you lie in an interview to us, you're done. Like we're literally trying to push you into a lie in an interview, and if you lie, you're done. Like like, you know, like we ask a question, when's the last time you worked out? This is my favorite answer. Oh, I work out all the time. Okay, all right. What'd you do yesterday? Oh, I took yesterday off. Okay, what'd you do on Tuesday? Okay. Tuesday I did cardio, a lot of it. Okay, how long did you work out for? 45 minutes. Okay, what machine did you use? Right? And they'll be like, oh, I was on a treadmill. Okay, where were you on a treadmill at? Oh, I go to the gym. What gym? What gym? You know, the gym down the street from my house. Well, you know they're lying, right? Like, so as soon as they start lying, I'm like, hey, thank you for coming. But we're going to keep asking you questions because I know you're lying, and then, you know, like, you can only shore up, and you know, like, the more you do it, the better you get. But in your case, so I think, like, you'll have a good conversation with the person I put you in contact with, because she's having some of the same problems, right? She's hiring some of the smartest people in the country, and they are somewhat hard to manage.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's my next question is, I'm hiring a lot of IT guys, a lot of developers. We're a remote company, right? I'm in Croatia. My co-founder's in Georgia. We got people in Brazil, U.S., UK, all over the place. My second question is more around managing, one, IT developer people. I don't know if you got experience with that. But the second thing is mostly, how do I build a company culture that's lasting while being remote? My mind is going like, yeah, company retreats in person a couple of times, like twice per year at least, stuff like that. But I'm thinking in terms of remote, I got a remote team, it's hard to build that connection. I'm trying to, like, with the team meetings and stuff like that. But my approach right now is I have a one-on-one call with all my employees at least once per month. And we go into, like, what's up in your life? What's happening? What's your goals? Like, how much you're trying to make? Like, some people are, like, in Brazil, and to them, they're like, I want to make $3,000 per month US, and that would absolutely change. I'm like, awesome, like, let's put down a game plan how to get there. But it's tough for me to, like, I'm at least used to like working in person with a bunch of people, so it's kind of hard for me to build that relationship with people remotely. So if you got any tips on that, that would be cool.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, it's hard. We see our drivers for 15 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, 25 minutes a day. It's hard, right? Like I don't think managing people is different. IT people, like you got a bunch of introverts. Okay, introverts are different, right? They want to be told what to do and then they want to be left alone. Okay, I would tell you the big thing. The bigger you get, you've got to have some systems to make sure everybody's doing their work. Okay, because people will take advantage of it and not do any work, right? And that would be the one thing I would say. You got to have some checks and balances, right? Here's the job I need done. Like, I'll give you an example. I got a tile guy that's awesome at my house right now. I went over there in construction. You better check on the project every day. I went over there. I noticed the line was off. I called him and said, hey, man, this line is off, bro. Like we put in $7,000 worth of 4x8 sheets of porcelain tile in this bathroom, and this line is off. I don't want this line to be off, right? So, like, that's the kind of stuff where, you got to double check their work. You got to go, every now and then you got to pop in on them. And just management stuff, right? Like leadership stuff. You're doing.
Sorry,
No, you're doing a lot of the right stuff, right? Like I tell people, if you work for me and you're doing a good job, we send you on vacation. Okay. One of my great employees, she does cruises a lot, right? She goes on cruises. A cruise is $1,000. Like that's it. Like last month she made us like $18,000. Well, let me say this. She got us bonus, which was about $18,000, and we were able to pay a lot of stuff with that. We didn't make $18,000, but I'm like, yo, book a cruise. She's out there. She's in the streets fighting with my company and fighting with our contractor, and she's winning, and it's easy. Like, boom, hey, here you go. I say this. I always say the little things matter a lot more than the big things do, right? Like you can give somebody a $500,000 bonus, and the effect isn't the same as sending them, box of chocolates for a month. You find out he loves ties. You hey man, show me 5-year ties. You get a general idea what he likes, and you put him in a tie for a month club. A tie a month club. You do stuff like that. Like I bought a guy a gun at my company, right? He wanted a gun. I got a gun guy. He's killing it for me. We bought him a gun. We sent one of the young dudes that works for us was the best driver of the year last year. And we put him on his first plane trip 2 years ago. And then we put him on a plane trip to Tulsa last year, and he's like, Jake, I want to go to Hawaii. We're like, oh, man, Hawaii? And it ended up costing us some change, but he's our best driver. Like, I'm not worried about it, And he came back, was telling everybody he got to go to Hawaii. Like, I always say the little stuff matters, man. It matters so much more than the big stuff. Like knowing their kids' names, knowing their birthdays, all of that stuff. Like we try to do a decent job on birthdays. Maggie watches our birthdays, our HR lady. We got a 2-year anniversary coming up. Well, it was yesterday, but we're doing it next week on Friday. All of that stuff. All of that stuff matters. So
good.
Yeah, I just think it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah. We just bought one of our devs a MacBook because he had a shitty laptop. It was hard for him to work, and I'm like, if you're gonna be lagging on calls and can't do your job, like here's an $800 MacBook. Like it's worth for me just shipping you and like keeping it. It's not like thing. So we're doing. And
I did the same thing, right? Like I bought 3 people computers. We didn't buy MacBooks. We bought $430 Dells because we do pretty much everything on Google. Boom, bought 3 of them bad boys, passed them out. They're like, oh my God, thank you. Like no more BS. My computer that we had was from '08. It was crashing. They're like, we need another one. I'm like, no problem. That's the kind of stuff, like trying to make their jobs easier.
Cool. Perfect.
And then, like you said, like I give professional development all the time, man. You know, like professional development, like, hey, you want to go to a conference, you want to do something, you know, you kind of work that in as a bonus and a benefit. I paid bonus the first, I don't know, 4 months I put a bonus out, but the IRS took half of it. So after that, I just told everybody, like, look, if you need something, you ask for it, and we'll probably buy it for you. You know, like I bought a girl a refrigerator and a washer and dryer. You know, she's killing it for me. And if I had given her a bonus, you know, government would have got half of it. So.
Yeah, perfect. No, that makes sense. That
yeah.
Confirms my thinking. Awesome. Last question. This one's more personal. Business stuff, like, I'm fine. I'm working 10, 12-hour days every day. So that's sort of like I'm figuring stuff out. I understand part. My more, like, question right now is, since a lot of times going to business and I'm waking up early, wake up with my kid, we go walk, like spend some time. I'm really trying to focus in on how do I block out time for learning, for like where, or do you, like what's your approach to that? Like being a busy professional. Is it the weekends? Is it early mornings? Is it like I understand I gotta block it out. I'm just trying to figure out where.
Okay, so on LinkedIn I got a great article about 4:30 wake ups.
Yeah.
Okay. So I tell everybody, if I need to get some shit done, I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I don't like to wake up at 4:30. I'm not Jocko, right? I'm not gonna wake up every morning at 4:30. But like if I got like I'm getting ready to start a new company. Okay, I'm selling stem cells now, and I'm gonna help a lot of people get access to stem cells. Okay, but it's gonna require some heavy lifting. Not super heavy, but it's gonna require some work. I will probably take, as soon as I'm working on a house renovation right now, right? And so that is literally taking probably 8, 9, 10 hours a day. But as soon as I start coming off of that a little bit, I'm going to go down and I may start waking up at 4:30, right? Because it's not going to take me long to do. I got to build a website. I got to arrange, I got like 4 people in 4 different communities that are going to go down and get stem cell treatment. 2 of them are going to sell for me, right? Like I'm going to do a kind of 50-50 split on sales for stem cells. I'm going to do a referral business, and then there's a big deal with PRP, right? And the military, so I'm going to give them a referral, right? $100 referral for PRP. But I got to kind of put it all in place. I got to put the structure in place. I got to put the website in place that feeds the spreadsheet, right? Do I want a spreadsheet or a database, right? So but the goal is to do 1 a week, right? And then if I get 1 a week, when I get to 1 a week, I'm going to do 2 a week. And then I'm going to get to 5 a week. You know, the end goal is to do 8 a day. Okay? So you said it already. Do you know what blocking is?
Yeah, I use it.
Okay, so then, like, that's it, right? Now, I'm going to tell you this. You lucky at 10 or 12 hours a day where you are right now. Okay, because I will tell you this, whatever you're doing, it must be going well, because normally it's 18 hours a day. Okay, the fact that you have business already, the fact that you're making money, you got employees, you're able to delegate some stuff, right? Delegation is huge. The higher, like right now, I don't do nothing. Okay, my folks are murdering it. They're killing it. So, you know, everything's delegated out except hiring. Like, I got to post a job ad here in a couple minutes. As soon as I get off with you, I'm going to post a job ad up so it's fresh. But I do a couple things. But blocking is huge, right? Like, if you start blocking your schedule, and then the other thing is try to get into a rhythm. So, like, 4:30 wake-ups. If I wake up at 4:30, I'm waking up at 4:30 every day of the week. I'm not taking Saturdays and Sundays off. Every day is at 4:30, and I'm going to have a plan. And I tell everybody, the best thing for 4:30 wake-ups, the night before, take 15 minutes and organize your workspace so that when you wake up, like I like to go for a little run, you know, so I'm up at 4:30, I'm working by 5, and I work from 5 to 7 before anybody else in the house gets up. 2 most productive hours of the day.
Yeah, that's when I'm like struggling now because I wake up around 7, my kid wakes up, and it's like dad mode all of a sudden, and then it takes me a couple of hours to start working like 11,
Yep.
and I go to like 8 p.m., 10 p.m., right?
Yep.
And I feel like I'm missing those 2-3 hours either at the end of my day, at the start of my day. But yeah, you just.
And here's the other thing, like it's known fact, productivity after 5 o'clock goes way down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're trying to like, you know what I'm saying, that's why you eat that morning time up. And the other thing is, I tell folks, you start waking up at 4:30 in the morning, your whole perspective on life changes. You can't lose. Like I tell everybody, I wake up at 4:30. I'm not losing. I don't lose anyway waking up at 7 or 8, but I'm not losing waking up at 4:30. There's no way I can lose because I've done more in those first 2 hours than everybody else does all day.
Maybe in a week.
Not quite a week, but I'll tell you right now, I'll get more productivity in those 2 hours than anybody else will in the whole day.
Yeah.
You know, and so I got an article on LinkedIn on that. If you Google 4:30 wake ups, but yeah, man, it's a balancing act, right? I'll tell you this: dude's 8 months old. He ain't gonna remember none of this.
Yeah.
So start, get it in now, so that in a year from now, when he will start remembering stuff, you got more time with him. Like my kid's sitting next to me, I got a ton of time with my kids. Since I got to coach football, I got tons of time with my kids. And so, and that's, you I'm sure you know Elon Musk, right? You follow Elon. What's his philosophy on all that?
Yeah, they get a little time with me, but it's quality time. It's
Yep.
Yep.
Elon Musk is the king of work your living, ever loving butt off, right? And he got 3 or 4 companies he's running. Now he's running Twitter, SpaceX, Tesla. Like, he may not have any time in his day. He working 18, 20 hours a day. They say he works 7 days a week. He don't care.
Yeah.
Okay? But, a lot of people, and I think you understand it because you're being really successful right now, it's the process that matters. It's not necessarily the end goal or the beginning or anything in the middle. It's the process that you set up. And the cleaner you set the process up, the easier it is for you to turn it all over, right? Like, the easier it is for you to be able to go from 8 people. Because I'm going to tell you, there's a big difference between 8 and, 25. Yeah. There's another big difference between 25 and 50. Okay? Then when you go from 50 to 140, 100, it's another deal. But once you get over 100, if you don't have your processes in place, you'll never get to 75. You'll never get to 50. Right? So, that's what I'm saying. So, you focus on the processes now, right? You start bringing somebody into the hiring process. You start, so that when you need to hire... we're hiring 10 people a week right now. I can do 10 people a week, but I got to kill myself. So there's 3 of us to hire. If need be, there's 5 of us, right? And that's kind of the processes that are in place. Like our processes for onboarding, our processes for training, our processes for discipline, and all of that stuff are in place. And now we tweak things every now and then, we tweak a little bit, and we're moving. Okay.
And that's what we do for our company. So that's what we're good at. So we're implementing that. From day one, once we started, we had stuff in place, and we're continuing to build it. So I'm very my mind goes to if I were in the military, I'd probably be a logistics guy. That's what I'm into. Figuring out how to get resources up to the that's my thing. So we've been very that's part of our culture, just being very process driven from the start.
Which is awesome, right? And like I told you, man, you got all them entrepreneurs around you. Right? I got a $6 million company. Right? You got to go talk to a dude that has a $50 million company. Right? I'm not going to give you advice on nothing I don't know, but I know this. I know how to get to 140 people. I could probably go to 300, 400 people pretty easily. But what I couldn't do is with my contractor do it because my contractor's too up and down. Because to go to one, let's say to go from 140 where we are now to 200, I got to hire 3 more people in management. And they'll shut us down in a week and be like, oh yeah, you're back to 100 people. So now I got 3 people that I hired to do something that I got to let go. And I don't really like playing that game. right?
Yeah.
So that's where if I was in a normal business with normal business practices, we'd be murdering it. Because I would be able to grow and grow and grow and grow, but we don't control our growth. So.
Right. Makes sense. Awesome.
All right, brother. Well, let's go. I'm glad we're going to pump this out, man, because these cats was murdering me. And it's just, but hey, here's the deal, Tony. You're a winner, right? And all the losers were chiming in because they don't want to hear none of that stuff, right? Like I tell people, man, that's the biggest epiphany I've had in the last 5-6 years is winners play with winners and losers hate winners and winners hate losers.
Yeah.
And so, keep kicking butt, brother.
I'll keep you updated, keep you in the loop. Hopefully, 10 months from now, I'll be at a different spot and I have some more.
Not hopefully, right? Not hopefully.
No, 100%.
Make that shit happen, bro. The same shit as before. Like, make it happen. I'm not hoping for greatness.
Yep.
Right? I wake up every morning and I go get it.
Yep.
Okay, some days are better than others. Some days I win, some days I lose. But I know this. There's a lot more W's than there are L's.